Convert the following complex numbers from polar form to rectangular form. And the first one we have is 10e to the pi over 4I. So in general, we have the form r times e to theta I, and this is r times cosine theta plus I sine theta. So we want to use this formula to simplify this. So it's r is 10, theta is going to be pi over 4. Now cosine of pi over 4 and sine of pi over 4 are just square root of 2 over 2. We're going to distribute the 10 to both of these, and that's going to cancel out with the 2. So that's going to be 5 and 1 for each one of these. And then we can distribute the 5 to get 5 root 2 plus 5 root 2I. Alright, the next one we're given the angle in degrees. So we should convert this, if we want, to radians. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to have -2 and then cosine 60 degrees plus I sine 60 degrees. You have -2 times the quantity. Cosine of 60 is 1/2, and then sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. Now the 2's are going to cancel, and then we're just going to distribute the negative to both of these to get -1 minus root 3I. Next one is -5e raised to -pi over 3I. So you have -5. The angle is going to be -pi over 3. So cosine of -pi over 3 is the same thing as cosine of pi over 3. And that's going to be 1/2. But sine of -pi over 3 is going to be negative, and then root 3 over 2I. So if I distribute the -5, I get -5/2 plus 5 root 3 over 2I. All right, next one is e to the 225 degrees times I. So r here is just going to be 1 since we don't have a constant in front of it. Just assume it's 1. So it's like 1 times cosine of 225 degrees plus I sine 225 degrees. So this is going to be in the third quadrant, and it's one of the 45-degree ones basically. So in that case, both the x and the y are going to be negative. And that's our answer. Okay. So the next two problems we have to simplify and then write it in polar form. So the first one is 20 times e to the pi over 6I, and multiply that by -4e to positive 60 degrees I. So let's first multiply the constants. So we have the 20 and the -4 is going to give us -80. 60 degrees is the same thing as pi over 3. So it's pi over 6 plus pi over 3. That's going to be pi over 2. And then we have I. So it's -80 times cosine pi over 2 plus I sine pi over 2. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0, and then sine of pi over 2 is 1. So this is just -80I. Last one, we have -2e to -3 pi over 2I, all over 4 times e to the 225 degrees. So by the way, 225 is just 5 pi over 4. It's good to have it both in the same form. So the numerator here is in radians, so we should have this in radians as well. So now -2 and 4, that's going to be 1 and 2. So we have negative, and then a 2 on the bottom, and then e. So we're doing -3 pi over 2 minus 5 pi over 4. Getting a common denominator, this is -6 pi over 4 minus 5 pi over 4. This is just negative 11 pi over 4. So I can factor out the negative 1/2, and now the angle is just negative 11 pi over 4. Now we can add negative 11 pi over 4 with 4 pi to make this positive. And for that we get 5 pi over 4. So evaluating cosine and sine of pi over 4, or 5 pi over 4, this one is going to be in the third quadrant, so you have negative 1/2. We know in the third quadrant it's going to be negative, so this is negative root 2 over 2. And then minus negative root 2 over 2i. So we're going to distribute the negative 1/2 to both of these to get positive root 2 over 4 and plus square root of 2 over 4i. And this is our answer.